All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, y'all. Good Motivational Monday. It is me, Dr. Chef Felicia, and I am. Make sure you all can hear me well. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, you all? Yes, I had to change the time, y'all. I was giving up. I had to change the time. This may be my original time though, because it gave me a little time to get some work, some extra work done, you all, unless I start early. So it is a blessing to see you all on this motivational Monday. All right, all right. Hey there, Sean. How that toe doing? You thought I forgot about you. Hey, brothers. Um, uh, Rashad, how y'all doing? I miss you all. How y'all been doing? How was the weekend? Y'all talk to me. I am gonna do some motivating though today. That I want to see how it healed. Yes. Okay, what was the main thing to do? Staying off of it? Were you able to stay off of it enough? I was going through the messages and then I came across you a few days ago and I was like, okay, I got to reach back out at her because when I came across it the first time, I did notice. Don't ever think that I don't know the certain things unless that, you know, technology is not working in my favor. That's the only way I'm missing certain things. And that's why I told you all to charge it to my head, not to my heart. And in most cases, you can charge it to this computer for sure. And it's okay though. I'm not complaining. Yes, yes, yes. Give her the congrats on that, brother, because that's a major accomplishment. I had a client that um, they were over 200 pounds and very stocky. Used to be a former football player, and they hurt their big toe, and I had to do some one-on-one with it, and it was, I mean, it swelled so bad you would have thought it would have burst out of the shoes. Now, thankfully for them, you know, they had access to some of the essential oils, and so that penetrate through the bone marrow and through and reduce some of the inflammation, so they got a chance to experience um, with the natural effects of the with the essential oils penetrate through the bloodstream and then to the bones, um, it automatically healed it faster. And so things like peppermint, it's another one called Boston Fair. It smells horrible, but I promise you the thing, it heals like none other. You'd be thankful that you had to apply it down low below on the foot so that you wouldn't have to smell it. And they go to show you that just some things, everything that's sweet and smell good is not necessarily good for you, but those bitters, I promise you, I mean, they go into work big time. So that's just something to keep in mind if you ever do that again. But I'm so, hey there, Lauren, how are you? Looking forward to our consultation. It is this Thursday, right, Lauren? It is this Thursday. And I'm not forgetting, send my greetings to your mom. I'm gonna call and check on her anyhow. It's good to know the family's doing good. Hey, John, how are you? Good morning. Yes, y'all. I'm just giving a little time to just for different ones to tune in because I know my time frame is changed, but I thank God for you all. Thank the Most High for sure. Hey, Sister Townsend. Hey, Bear. How are you? How you coming along? Shalom, shalom, shalom. Okay, yes, so more changes on my end. And so, of course, I still have to stay motivated, you all, even when I don't feel like it. I'm going to say it again. You have to stay motivated even when you don't feel like it. Is that good enough? I saw that angle there. You have to stay motivated even when you don't feel like it. And what I mean by feel like it is the feelings, as we know, is an emotion. You hear people talk about it all the time. You all like and share for those of y'all that feel that needs that good. I don't know too many people that don't need that motivation in a positive way to press forward on a Monday, going into the holiday, the holiday, the fourth. You know they lied, and so I had to do it. I was thinking about it. It kept missing me because I'm used to the 4th of July starting on the Monday or on the weekend, and so I had to keep in mind. So wait a minute, it's Tuesday. It's on a Tuesday because around here in St. Louis on the quote unquote show me state. They like to show you just how many fireworks at the BP Fair is a nationwide thing. People travel from different countries to come to our BP Fair because they're some of the biggest. However, at the stadium, at Bush Stadium here, and we went when we were younger. Even though, our people, I'm trying to get the perfect angle, you all. Even though my family um, took in, my family would take us to the fair sometimes, and it wasn't until I got a little older. I can't remember the precise age, probably about 15, 16 years old, where I was looking at history. At that time, I was still interested in becoming a Black history teacher. And until it was my civics and history teacher, Mr. Todd Yancey, which he did live into his 90s. I don't know if he's still alive now. Ran into him shortly after thinking about him, after not never seeing him since junior high school. And it was a beautiful thing. And I remember him pulling me to the side and saying, daughter, he said, and back then the teachers was like really, they acted a lot like mothers and fathers, aunties and uncles to us. They, in the community that I was raised in, they took a lot of pride in the good teachers took a lot of pride in teaching us and pulling different ones to the side that they saw something unique in, or that they thought would grow up to be somebody. And I was at that time, I didn't think that I would. I just knew that I wanted to learn something. And he told me, he said, look, he said, it's okay you want to be a Black history teacher, but he explained to me that just understand that everything that's in these books that you want to know is not all the information. And he said it so sincerely to me, looked at me, and I appreciated that, because then I knew to look outside of just the book. I knew it made me focus more so on our people. And it also made me want to dig a little deeper than what was being presented to us at the time. And so I found out that the 4th of July here, that's where they used to take and sell slaves. Yeah, they used to do that. And so I'm like, wait a minute, how did this turn into go from fireworks to selling hell dogs, not hot dogs, hell dogs, and soda pops and Spud Light and all this, to us celebrating and fireworks. Nothing wrong. I love fireworks. I love it. I like seeing the light of the stars. It's so symbolic of light in the midst of darkness. And so I'm not going to play holier than thou on that at all. I like fireworks. I do. I like seeing some go boom. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's just something that it represents that is not really good for. And I understand that we have to be careful with that, because it also releases tons of different chemicals and things within the air as well. And so, given if you're in a toxic, polluted state like we are, and you're not in a tropical island or by a body of water, then you have to understand that these things do affect your respiratory system. But before I get all off into that, you all, and want to get into the motivation things, I'm going to do it properly. Now that you have tuned in, I want to start off with a brief prayer that is much necessary. Father, we thank you so much for blessing us to come before you again on this Monday. We thank you for the mind, once again, for the mind to want to seek out that is good, that is positive for us, in order for us to be able to have a good word, a good teaching, good motivation, in order to get us through this week. As we know, on tomorrow we will be celebrating another holiday. And my goodness, the foundation of it is most definitely full of hellish things in history that was not good for we are people. And so we thank you, Father, for those of us who are the descendants of those that paved the way that unfortunately suffered in the hands of many back in the day, is what we call it, that did not leave us with a good start. A lot of us that's here today, we don't know our history. Some of us do, but some of us don't. However, We want to be able to focus on the things that are good and that are faithful unto you, that are that's good for our mind, bodies, and our soul. And so, Father, we thank you and ask that you continue to bless my tongue, my mind, my spirit, to be able to give your people what it is that they need in order to give them the desire and the drive and a push to be able to make it through this day until the next. In the name of Jesus and Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Okay, hey there, Sister Sandra. How y'all doing? All right, y'all rolled on in. Is this time better for you all? Since you are some of the main followers and supporters, is this time better for you all? Let me know, because I do aim. I have some flexibility. That is the beauty in being your own business owner. I have been for years now, and being an entrepreneur, that's the beauty of, you can flex when you need to with your time for the most part, unless you're setting up different types of which. Thank you for my heart, Sister Sandra. I got to give it to you. I believe that we most definitely are kinsmen, because kin folks, because I am kin to Sanders on so many other on two sides. And you do look a lot like my people, and the way you send those articles to help me on Instagram, I just want to humbly say thank you so much, because they are good content. And so keep on bringing it. It may not seem like I'm going to get to them, but I am storing them in archive, and I am going to break down a lot of the content that you send me. And so I just wanted to say that before the live stream, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you and I appreciate you, not because I believe you can people, but because I appreciate your support and your consistency. And now that goes for the rest of you all too. Hey there, Sister Nels. Hey, I love you too. Oh, I love you, sis. Hey, I still got your picture. We gotta get you that picture. Gotta get you that picture. And so I'm motivated. What motivates me? What gets me moving? No, you all, life, knowing that I didn't give myself breath. That's what motivates me to be able to keep pressing on, no matter how many different changes that take place in my life. What motivates me? Even when the good things that God has created me to do, I've been able to do them. And even though it may be taken in the wrong way by few, by some that struggle with a lot of mental issues, that has been closest to me, in the end, they realize that the end result is always the greatest, because it always leads them to taking care of themselves. And that's the bottom line. And at the same time, that is the most challenging part, when we have to make a decision to allow people to grow, and I've had, as you can just imagine, I say it all the time, it's being the firstborn. It's just something that I've had to learn how to do. And a lot of times we don't learn that, just how much of an impact the order or how you're raised play a very significant part on why we do what we do. And so I've never regretted it. What I wanted to do was just embrace it. And I encourage you all to do the same, even if it seemed like it was a horrendous thing, meaning a bad experience. I have the mindset and that I've been given, that even in a lot of bad situations, it can work out for you good. Um, I was just reminded by a cousin of mine that I didn't even know was a family member, to show you how big the family is. On last night, we had a really good talk. He's a minister and he's profound with it, out of Milwaukee. I'm gonna get a shout out to my bro Chester. He thinking that, look, I'm gonna send this link to him. And we all went up to school together. Didn't know that we were linked to family members and things of that nature. And um, he made me to think about Genesis 1. And by the way, you all be careful, for those of you all who are believers. AI is getting ready. I got the link. He's getting ready to create their own Bible, but at the same time, it's going to be basically responding back to the scriptures. And so that should be quite interesting, seeing the mindset of these so-called man-made computers, for the energy that that the people who created the computers didn't fully understand, because a lot of them wasn't the chosen ones, that didn't understand how the sound waves and energy waves take control, what we call the prince of the air. And if you look into the scriptures and you find out what the prince of the air was going to do. The prince of the air was going to be the ones that basically control communication and how we talk and what we do. And what is AI doing now? Think about it, y'all. It's just so much that we take for granted. You don't have to be a devout Christian. You don't have to be a devout believer. You can be, even some atheists read the Bible just to be able to debate it. But at the end of the day, come on, you all, if you ever sit down and take out the time and read through it, I don't care what version you come across, there's going to just be certain truths that's going to stand out to you, that's going to make you think, wait a minute, how did they know this back in the day? And how is it that we live in this now? It's almost like debating somebody with their own biography of their life. Except for this one is universal. So I say, take the good, take the bitter and the sweet, and place it in the right place of the mind that you need it for at such a time as this. That's what I say. Instead of getting caught up in all these different titles and religions. That's what I say. Yep, I said it. And I said it because I've lived a life where I have been able to be blessed to be around so many different people with so many different belief systems, not just through my clientele, but just in life. I grew up around Muslims. I grew up around people that were said that they didn't believe in God. I grew up with Baptists. I grew up with Methodists. I grew up with Presbyterians. I grew up with all of them. And not a one time that I have to sit down and have an argument with them. One, because the spirit in me prayed to the universe that made all this, the God that created us all, and I asked for the wisdom, even in my teenage years, to be able to learn something enough to be open-minded enough to be able to understand where everyone is coming from their different perspectives. The only time when I found that there was tension, too much tension, is when we've taken on a mind that we want to control and force someone to believe in the way we believe, in the way we learned it. Not necessarily to educate us in per se knowing who we truly are in the most positive way. And that's important. If our culture, as a quote unquote Black people, as an original people, as an Asiatic people, have been distorted through history, to where even when you pick up a quote unquote holy Black Bible, that even our images are taken out of it, even though now, of course, there is many more that's being recreated in our name. If that bothers us so much, then what I don't get is how is it that we are still in a mindset of understanding and understanding this truth now that wasn't even available for our grandparents and great-grandparents for the most part, unless you were blessed to have those who were already set in what we call a quote-unquote conscious mindset that still had that village effect around them. But that wasn't the case for most of us, especially for us city people. Unless you were blessed to have that knowledge, then that's great. But for the majority of what we're seeing, a lot of us weren't. We're just going off of what's coiled into our DNA and in our spirits. And then when we see certain things written, boom, it ignites a thought. And then that thought turns into a do, and the do turns into a passion. This is something that I often have thought about. And some call it the Willie Lynch syndrome. And then they want to debate whether or not the letter was true or not. It doesn't matter. Actions speak louder than any letter and any word will ever. I often quote the scripture, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. Meaning the heart connected to the mind. You can't have one functioning good without the other. Try it. Try pressing the heart. Try taking something that would stop your heart, and we'll see how well your brain can think. It can for a little bit because there is a map road. There is a road of a map zone of blood circulation that's going on in there to help your cells, your neutrons, your atoms, and everything to communicate, still sending signals saying that my heart is hurting. But in a minute, in less than 24 hours of that, your heart can't stop. That muscle that full muscle and tendencies and tissue and that fluid and that oxygen can't stay down for long without making you flatline. Meaning become unresponsive. You'll only be able to do it for so long. And so since they are the members that's so connected, and that unfortunately due to misinterpretation in certain writings, we don't understand that the heart is the mind and the mind is the heart. So I'm going to say it again, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. And that means, and then even goes for to say that we'll be judged for everything that we say. And we know it because we judge each other right now for everything that we say, like little gods. I've spent the majority of my life been, I'd say 95% positive. If you got to hold to the 5%, may the force be with you. Because much work has been done on my mind and in my spirit from God. And then from the village that I was raised around to keep me being what they call a positive thinking person. But even with the positivity, the negatives, I saw the negatives was around me all my life. And so, of course, I naturally fight and battle against anything that makes me think that I am nothing. I am that I'm not good enough. That I naturally I'm just my brain just automatically. You say something negative, it automatically thinks, this is evil. This is wicked. This is not right. And so, meaning that I can't walk together with anyone that have a very programmed negative mindset for the most part. It does bother me that we've gotten to a place to where we can't motivate each other and that we are not supporting each other to the point because we're so focused on our outward. I was always the child and the person. And so it's, hey, Sister Keita Coda. So that's, hey, Sister Candy. So it comes too natural for me now. I've been doing it for now 40 plus years of my life, to where even if someone didn't look so nice looking, my heart always went towards them. Even some of my classroom mates, they'll tune in and they remember me for that. Not just because I was church girl, but most of them used to call me, or preacher's girl, but because it bothered me to see any of our people hurt, feelings hurt. And I remember a young lady that was overweight. She's really dark skinned. I'm not going to call her name because sometimes she follows me. She'll know. But I'm using it as a testimony of out of the abundance of the heart and how the mind thinks and the impact that we really don't realize when we take in all of this negativity about ourselves and how it really has a major effect on our minds and our spirits and our overall well-being. I told you all, yes, I grew up with a family that talked about each other. So yes, I have a thicker skin in that area, but when from the heart, it comes from a wicked place. It comes from a bullying place. It comes from an ill place. I have an issue with that. I have an issue with it. It's okay to joke around, laugh. Y'all heard me talk about it with my brother. We do it all the time. He called me, and y'all watch yourself. I don't want nobody calling me this name, so I'm just letting myself out here so you all can see that I'm saying, what I'm saying is true. And no, my brother don't do social media, but one of these days he's going to come through, and then I'm going to let y'all see him, and then we might go back and forth with each other. But it's all in love. It's not something but because he knew that I was always into Black history and things of that nature, and wondered what's going on with our people. And, drummers and all that other stuff. But he coined the name. I went from being Erykah Badu to being African Booty Scratcher. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just every now and then, he just lets it out. Yeah, we the two oldest. And I'm like thinking to myself, you just really had to go that low, didn't you? Why come I just couldn't have been African? Why I got to be the scratcher part? And I'm like, And so after a while, I started to imagine, right? Sister Sandra, can you imagine? And so I'm like, I started trying to imagine what an African booty scratcher would look like. And so now you take my mind into places. I'm like, does this even exist? And so it took away something from my intellect. It took away something from somebody asked, where are you going with this, Dr. Chef? I'm going with this, the saying that it's different when it's coming from a place where you know that somebody love you and that they'll give their life for you. But the heart and the things that we know when we know we've been bullied, when we know that someone have a grudge against you, when you know that someone is more focused on you being a stiff-necked people, when we know that we're focused on us being hard-headed, and then you get called a name. When we know that you hate something, mostly because it is tempting you to be that something. That's something that we have to work on as a people in order for us to stay motivated to do that which is good for our well-being. Now, if I hadn't gotten to a place to where I'd already had uncles and aunties, and my brother hadn't always been positive to me and never, he was just the type that used to mess with me, come tickle me, or just do real funny, quirky things, anything to make me laugh. So I knew that him calling me that does not come from an evil place. That's him. Anything it takes to get me to laugh, because he knows the seriousness. He knows that I've carried the family for a long time, or for what feels like a long time, in the spirit of always pouring into what was poured into me, and some more. Because I started to understand the why. Because when I go back and I ask my people why, they always would tell me stories about what happened to them. It wasn't based off of that this is a need. It was based off of, because I see something in you. It was based off of, because you're special. It's based off of, I know God's going to do something great with you. It's based off of, you've always been a good girl. You've been a good child. We love you. Your heart has always been good. Once again, go back to y'all. All right. Does that mean I've never done anything wrong? Absolutely not. Of course I have. Does it mean I've never sinned? Absolutely not. Whatever your definition of sin is, absolutely have. Even if it comes from just not knowing. Because you can still do wrong and not know that you're doing wrong until somebody come to you and say, hey, you know what? That wasn't right. That was wrong. And then there's just things that we have to wrestle with within our growth and development as a people, mentally and spiritually, that you just don't get when you get into a quote unquote self-righteous stage. And unfortunately, that is the biggest battle for those of us who's coming before this social media internet today as quote unquote leaders. Because we get the attention of people, and because we have something that we believe that's inspiring, and you all have to share it with us. That is the prayer that has to be prayed, that as those of us who have learned how to taken on the bravery of sharing something that can get into the wrong hands, or that can be placed in the hands of someone that literally becomes so ill intended by you, to where now they're seeking to destroy you. You have to be wise, and you have to be careful with what's coming out of the heart, which is the mind. And so I realized that during this time, no matter, I won't say no matter, with the village and with the support system that God has given me, that I'm more than obligated, because there is still a covering for me spiritually and naturally, no matter how things change in my life. And I pray that you all see the same for your life, that when you look, as they say, in all things give thanks. Somebody asks, how you do that? How you give thanks for all things? Because there are even some quote unquote negative things and bad things, just like there's negative food, toxic drugs, toxic things that's coming, toxic thoughts, toxic people. They come into your life to destroy you. You have to thank God that it didn't destroy you. You have to get in a place to where you place it where it needs to be in your life in order to be able to be thankful that you're not where you could have been. Some of you all have powerful testimonies. I've heard some of them. And the fact that you can even click onto the computer and say, hey, Dr. Chef, how you doing? That is a blessing within itself. And I know it seems so little. I used to get teased at sometimes, picked at sometimes when I was in my early 20s, married, having my children. And they would say, we don't understand why you're so happy. Now, they didn't know I was going through a lot then. I was being mocked then by somebody that I thought was my dear friend. And that was my cover about being so nice, being too nice. I was being mocked then. And I was being told that you're going to find out in this world by somebody that I've known them most of my life, that everybody don't have your heart. And do you know that was devastating to me mentally? Because at this point in time, I had given my whole heart to the relationship. I given them my whole, my aim, and my all. I mean, to the point that I would have given my life for the person. I had already visualized anybody come through this door. Yeah, I am a warrior queen. Yes, I am. That's what we want to call it. The word I'm not the one that's gonna sit back and somebody come in on my household and I'm sitting back spirit to myself. Get him, honey, get him. Get no, no. I want to be packing. I got the word of God in me, and I brain just changed right then and there. It's time to battle. I'm turning into what they call back in the day a whole battlefield. So I know where I come from. I know where my DNA. I'm not the one that sits back. If anything, I will. And it won't be no shame in the game about it. And so when you have that type of spirit, when you have that type of loyalty, when you have that type of mindset, and to hear from those who is closer to you, who you have invested in the most, to challenge your heart, just because they're going through something with this outside entity. And that's the reason why we're supposed to be operating as one. That's the reason why our heart is supposed to have so much love for each other, to where that's never questioned. It's never questioned. But when you deal with a lot of trauma that has not been treated, then everybody becomes the villain, and everybody got to be attacked. Everybody has to be wrong. Then that's when you know that no matter where you move and where you go and what you do, that your greatest enemy will always be you. It doesn't matter how many gifts. I was speaking to my cousin last night, and a very highly intelligent young man, and we was talking about the gifts, and he brought up one of the favorite scriptures. Some like to debate whether or not it's a gift. Let's just call it an ability. Then we can play that mind game. Let's not say gifting. Let's just say an ability. When you have an ability to do something that some others find difficult to do, then we as a people like to praise that. We like to, oh, look how beautiful her voice is. She just sings so good. Oh my God, look at what they made. Look at what they created. Oh my God, look how well they speak. Oh my God, look how well they draw. And we are people that will praise our people to death. Literally. When we like something about them. And that is a good trait in the Protestant, but you're supposed to be to life, not to death. I say the death part comes in is that when we take those very abilities that was given to us and passed down to us, whether you know who your parents are or not, you still was coiled, something created you and mold you into something, even if it was just through your experiences in life. They gave you the mind and the ability. I promise you, if you go down your DNA line, somebody else was an artist too. Somebody else. These are traits. These are roadmaps Just like you didn't create the road that you're driving on, but some of your ancestors may have did, and you may not even realize it or know about it. You're driving on it. And we say, I'm on my way. I made it. I'm driving here, even though you didn't make the car. We say, it's my car. And in most cases, it ain't even paid off, so it's not yours. Not really, not technically. We say my name. A lot of us have been named after our loved ones or kinfolks, and even the ones that you don't even know that exist. And so I'm saying that there's a lot that don't belong to us, really. It belongs to all of us that created it, that helped create it. And when you don't realize what the use of and the proper way to give this back to, and I don't mean just by lip service, I mean through, you can feel, because through the voice there is an energy, and it can be very manipulative. But when you are healthy minded, and when you are practicing more healthier things, then the sound wave become more and more authentic. Now all of a sudden it doesn't rub you the wrong way, because your body is more receptive to that is good, that is pure, that is clean, that is healthy, that is natural. And so automatically you start feeling more naturally motivated to do what was said, what was put out into the airwave, because the spirit is what we call, which is the energy and how it was said. It brought about a movement. If you understand energy, I encourage you all to start Googling and looking up energy and seeing what it does. It moves. It moves something. Why do you think that as natural melanated people that has an algorithm within our own cells and a beat, and y'all always see me dancing and moving, that is one of the number one signs that you have melanation, you have the spiros of God operating in you. You come across some people that cannot just sit there in the midst, and we call them monks. And I'm not mocking them. They have their purpose in life. They can just stay still, and then we call that a very focused person. We call that a person that cannot be moved. But what you don't understand about the monks, that are still another form of melanated people, just not, they have learned internal movement of the mind, where even though they can be still, they can move things within their mind just by focusing on it, because they understand they truly understand, and have studied the brain waves and how it makes it move. And somebody said, "What, Dr. Shelf, you believe in that?" I got to believe in it. I've seen it. To where the mind, we're going to go back to the mind again, is a terrible thing to waste. But here is my scene that's been going on this day and last week. No, it's a terrible thing to put waste in. Because that's the reason why they put the waste in. That's the reason why you see all this junk on social media. That's the reason why you see all this toxic. This is the reason why you've been fed all the poison. This is the reason why you have been seduced into taking certain chemical drugs, in order for it to lower the vibration and the sound waves, the movement, the growth, the progress in your mind, because it knows that when the people place their minds together, there is nothing they can accomplish. And it doesn't matter how many. It could be 100, it can be 20, it could be 3. The 3 wise men. I'm just going to leave that right there. Some things don't need to be elaborated on. You can look it up. Where there's 2 or 3 gathered together, who will be in the midst? And so when you double up on top of that, and then you realize the power, you start to really truly understanding the power of the mind. But just think how many of you all got friends or people that and you didn't even verbally communicate to them, and you would sing and say, you know what? Or you may have mates to do another, you know what? Before you can say something like, I was just thinking that. How many of you had that experience? Now, just imagine if everybody was thinking on the same wavelength of what they wanted to eat to live and how they wanted to support each other in a positive way. If everybody was thinking that same thought and everybody just came together, you know what? Something just led me to call you and tell you. And I say, oh, wait a minute. I was just thinking that. It's only a matter of time before whatever you're thinking and that you're collaborating together with the same mind, same vision, before you make something happen. And so this is what we mean by getting together with like-minded people. This is what allowed me to even join together with my mates, because in that time, in that season, there was a same like mindset. But once that mind starts to change and everyone starts getting their own, what we call bright ideas. In some cases, it's dark ideas that does not represent full life. See, I'm not impressed, and I'm not one, and I've been told this by many people that sat down and talked to me that I've had personal relationships with, friendships down throughout the years, that Felicia, and we can tell that you're going to live for a long time. I've had plenty of my elders to say that to me. Said, no, we could tell that we are Yah's chosen. We will get together. We will move mountains and make miracles. Absolutely, King Dakota. This is what I'm saying. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. It doesn't matter if you're across the country. This is something that, once again, we weren't taught. Most of us wasn't taught it in this way to fully understand that this is a thought. So if I put a word out there and I say, move something positive, move something good. And I just keep saying that to you all. It's only a matter of time before throughout the day you're going to be thinking about moving something. I don't care if it's just your desk into a better lighting to the sun, so you can get some vitamin D, especially for those of y'all that's trapped in the inside. I got a nice big window over here on the side, and I forgot to even open up mine. Y'all, excuse me while I slide this chair over here and put some sunlight on me. Y'all tell me if it's too much light. See that? Now one side of my face is shining and the other one looks dull. It's okay. But I'm saying that to say that this is something that we have to keep in mind when we think about motivating and where it comes from. Why it's such a popular thing? Why you can click on certain clips, and within a few seconds, somebody, before you know it, 1,000 people have moved their fingers to click, say, "Hey, I like that. Ooh, that's just the drive that I needed today. Ooh, did you see that story and how they had rescued that person out of the fire?" We get motivated. It makes our minds, our brains start to move and think from out of the negative place into an inspiring place, until, I got to get up and do something. And in most cases, it rises the dopamine within the brain and it gets you excited. Wow, woo. Now just imagine if you applied that to everything that you put into your body, to the temple that's only yours. It doesn't belong to anybody else until you decide that you want to give your organs or your kidneys to somebody else. It's still yours. We got people today that's networking together, thanking people for giving them their organs when from loved ones when they pass on. Something that we have to even do better as a people as well. When you got that driver's license, if you're going to wind up being trapped into this matrix, then there should not be a time that you should not be putting putting a D on there for donorship. That you should be having in mind a loved one or a family member, if you have some, that you or good friend that you want to donate your organs to, if it ever come to that place and that point. So you can't put no donor. Because when you don't, you're open sesame. And I know some people think when you're dead, you're done. If that be the case, then why are they taking your organs if when you're dead, you're done? They're surely not done. It took less than 6 hours for my father to transition before they was asking me for his marrows and his bones. I couldn't believe that I was getting a call. They answered so nice and so sweet. I said, huh? I said, do you realize that I haven't even had time to fully process that my father is gone? And you right here in less than 24 hours asking me for my father's body parts? I did. Yes, I got very emotional about that. No, I didn't curse out. But it made me to understand the system even more so. And how we don't care nothing about our body parts. And even though they had the whole stats on what tainted his blood and everything, it didn't matter. That was a black chocolate. That was a dark skin. Get it right, y'all. I get light skin from mom and grandma. This is my mom. This is my mother. Little chunky, little Miss Piggy, huh? That's my mother. A praying woman. Now my father, I didn't have the picture of my father up because it's with the one that I like the most is with my grandmother. And I get too choked up because I was a daddy's girl. But my father is closer to the color of those pictures in the back. Lean, tall, very muscular man. But before he transitioned, his body became limp. You couldn't see the muscles anymore. And so in my mind now, I'm full blown into naturopathic ways and doing everything that I'm supposed to do to help heal the people. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, why would they want his marrows? And what else do they want? Y'all, we don't understand the value of our melanation. We don't understand the value of who we are as a people. But isn't it something that your enemy does? And so when you ask, why should I focus on being healthy? Why should I focus on learning how God beautifully and marvelously made me? It doesn't matter how your nose look. It doesn't matter how your forehead looks. It doesn't matter whether or not your hair is kinky, whether or not your hair is long or short. That's not the important part. The important part is that you understand that you need to know that whatever we were taught was trash has always been seen to our foes and to our enemies as their treasure. Now you can take and make a book out of that. And they have made trillions of dollars off of it. So why shouldn't you? You ever heard the saying that you work more dead than you are alive? It's true. Think about it. If it wasn't nothing to us being healthy and being well, then why would an industry that's trying to destroy nature and that's trying to destroy things, why would they be investing in anything that's called quote unquote healthy? Why would they need to be taking over the land? Why would you be censored from this word? In certain states and countries, you can't even have your own garden now. If it wasn't nothing to it, but to do it. Why would that be an issue? I like to make us think, you all. Just think. Some of you all get it, but who you may like and share this with may not get it. So that's why people like me exist. Product time. I have the colon cleanse, you all, the purifier. You will get 2 bags of these for $40. Proceeds will go to helping to heal the mind of our young people and our people that's working with them. And to create more, the finest grade colon cleanse. I am sending out the first order today, and it will make it to you all in time. It will be nicely packaged, moringa, and I will be coming out with others. Very, very fine grade. I love it because I got a chance to oversee it myself, the production of it. I got a chance to pray of it myself. I got a chance to ask the science myself. So just like I come before you all in this sincere, honest place of keeping the 1,000, that's the same way I was. So I had to wait. I've been wanting to do it for maybe 20, maybe about 15, 20 years now. But I didn't have enough believers around me. I didn't have enough. They got it, but in a lot of ways they didn't, meaning nobody else was doing it around me in my village at the time. Only one young lady. And they laughed and they mocked her father from doing it. But lo and behold, that man is still alive to this day. And so I only had one person outside of my uncle that just passed that we call the George Washington Carver. My dad, of course, when he was alive, he supported whatever I wanted to do. He was a very positive force in that way. My auntie, yes, I had different ones there, but at the end of the day, it's a whole nother different ball game when you go to another level to try and make sure that you get these goods to your people that doesn't realize that a lot of what they got on the market now is so unauthentic. It's not the original grade of nothing. And then you're wondering why come you're falling off within a week or two. And you're wondering, even you all don't even understand, unfortunately, not you in particular, but there are some that may come across this video that you've liked and shared this with that will be amazed by if you watch the production of some of this stuff and the things that some of these people do in the production. See, I can't even have anybody just working with me. Your spirit got to be right. Y'all see me do that, y'all already know. I'm gonna say that I can't even have anybody working with me. Your spirit gotta be right. Your energy gotta get right. I will do it myself, even if it take all night long. That's how much I care. And so, yeah, and I waited because because I wanted to make sure that when I produced something that it wasn't just gonna be about the mundane. I didn't say money on purpose. I didn't want it to be about that either. I was patient. I wanted to get the best of the best of the best of the best from the people because I believe and I think, and in my heart, I understand the value in us living and being able to operate at a place at the highest level of vibration and spiritualness, because I believe in what we call the movement and motivating us into a good place and a good movement that's good for us and our people. Working on some village things now, you all. Then you all will be some of the ones who stay tuned. You all will be some of the ones that, yes, some of these things I cannot share online. You're going to have to inbox me or ask me, hey, Dr. Chef, Sis Felicia. Maybe look like Sis Felicia and look, help. What was you talking about? Do that. Get the phone number. Call me. Leave a voicemail. There's some things I just can't say. It's just not wise to. But you best believe that we're working on some things because I take that saying serious, inheritment of health and wellness. I take that serious. I take that to the heart. If only our people knew. If some of them knew that they were enslaved due to the cravings of their bodies, they could be set free. The captive could be set free. The mind could be set free. Their bodies could be set free. Their spirit could be set free. And so when people ask me, well, who did you get the inspiration from? I always say from the spirit, God, my creator. Motivating people to do something positive, yes, it's passed down to me the genetics, and y'all hear me say it all the time. My beautiful mother, my grandmother, my grandfathers. They're very positive, very helpful, very, very community-oriented people. Lots of them. But at the same time, I didn't walk side by side by all of them to see all of the works that they did. I'm like some of you all learn. I'm still learning some things. I am working on the family tree, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of family tree you have if you don't nourish your tree. It doesn't matter what kind of family tree you come from if your tree is withering away. If it's not getting the proper information, if that family tree is not getting the proper information and it's not in the place where it can consume the proper vitamin D, the proper minerals that it needs in order for the family tree to grow into a healthy tree to produce good fruit. But it doesn't matter really what family tree you come from. You just want to make sure that you are the seed that's been planted by the rivers of water that shall grow from the Lord. That's what you want to. That's what you want to incorporate into your spirit when we talk about family tree. And you all always hear me talk about family all the time because I love my family, but at the same time, I do also understand that I am one of the seeds that clearly the sun and the water and the Spirit of God has said, okay, let's, in this particular one on the left side, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit something more up in there over here because I see that this one wants to grow. I mean, you all ever planted something and then you just see it start to bud, start getting excited. I know I do. You know, I get excited. Or if you wind up then too much sun hit it and the leaf dry off, but then you see that after you watered it, that it's another leaf that's going to start to grow. That's how we are. I believe that that's how we are seen in the universe when we allow nature to take its course, when you allow God to do what God has created us to do, and that is to grow. That is to change for the better. That is to be what he created us to be. And that's why it does concern me that there is a writing in the books where when he started to create the sun, the moon, everything, and whether you believe in this or not, now we don't have to question it at this age or stage in life. We understand that he said something about but when he got to man, he said, oh, okay. In so many words, I regretted it. And I wanted to know why he would regret it. And it was a conversation I had last night that stimulates this thought. And my male cousin agreed with me, as profound as he is. And he said, hey, I was looking at that. I went back to it and said when it came to man, he said he basically had regretted that he made us. And I said, think about it. Why would the Most High have to regret making us? Why would your Creator have to regret? But let's just bring it back down to earth now. Let's just bring it back to layman terms as a parent. When is the only time we regret or had a feeling? Let's just keep it 1,000, y'all. Come on now. When have we ever regretted saying, oh, Lord, this child right here? Or if you've been that child. And you've been, oh, boy. It's a horrible thing that we hate to have to hear parents say, I wish I would never had no kids. Or, I wish I would have waited. Or, that ain't my son, that ain't my daughter acting like that. Come on, y'all, let's keep it 1,000. You got niece and nephew. Oh, that boy is a demon. That child, wait a minute. But you don't hear this until it starts talking about, now here we go back again to health and wellness, you all, mental health and wellness and your spirituality. In the beginning, if that's the beginning that you believe in the beginning, he said it would not be good for man to be alone. He saw that it was not good. What did he see that was not good? And so where do we come into play, women's? He said, okay, well, I see he needs to help me, just like everything else has to help me. He needs help. Something would make you wonder, well, why come if he created something in his own like image that was marvelous and he was so great to be able to create the world, then why wouldn't it be good enough? I tell you why, because he forgot the order. That's what clicked in my brain. Nobody told me that. He forgot the order. When the so-called negative spirit came along to challenge, and that's what happens in relationships, you all, brothers and sisters, cousins, friends, buddies, marriages. This is what happens sometimes. Watch this. Well, he know that the day that you eat of this tree that he has forbidden you to eat from, that you would be just like him. You would have all the knowledge, good, bad, and evil, just like him. You would be God. Now, how is it that he didn't understand that if he was God, that how is it that he didn't understand that this meant that he was made in the like image? That's just like your son or your daughter. And some of y'all may be like me, but you got nieces that look just like you. And like, that's just like them turning around looking at you and saying, you know what? And this is the reason why I stopped one of my daughters from saying this, that she wanted to be just like me when she was a little girl growing up. Of course, I got her to grow out of it, because that usually turns into a child wanting everything that you have to. And there's an appointed time for certain things. And certain things that we have, we know now that it's not for them. It's just certain things that we're different. Just like my father is not my child's father. So certain things that's made in my mind it is in a different place from my child. But here goes. A child of yours or a niece or nephew that raises up and I want to be just like you. When we take on that spirit in one another, and this is where part of that Willie Lynch syndrome comes in. This is the reason why I believe that the great tricks are played with the minds of our people to make us feel this way about ourselves in a whole, as a village, as a people, and then we internalize that against ourselves. So if I can get you to talk about everything that looks wrong or everything that's not good about who I am as a person or where I come from or my skin color or my complexion or my hair or my weight, if I can just demonize that, instead of showing love and respect and just asking you, okay, what tree should I eat from then? What herbs should I take then? If I could just do that, if instead of having you to ask the right question and trust that you have been made in the like image of, that they gotta know something if they made you and they created you. Mama gotta know something about who I am and what she's making me into be. Daddy gotta know something that I don't know because they were here before me. Now, common sense, which is not common anymore. You all don't think like that. And this is why they had to mess up the minds of our people with giving us all these toxic things and making it look so desirable. It's no different than when a man look up on a beautiful woman or a woman look up on a handsome man and say, ooh, wee, isn't he? Ooh, wee, she's beautiful. Drawn away of our own lust and enticement. This is the greatest battle of the minds that they have learned how to manipulate and to master. It's not good enough that we already lust after things. And in most cases, the things that we should not have. The eyes. I started saying that the eyes is a terrible thing to take waste in. The strong illusions, it's no coincidence that every time you see that Murder King burger out, that they trying to put emphasis and bringing in all the colors of the arts. They know we are colorful minded people. They know that even in the idolatry of our eyes, brown and black eyes, that we can see things illuminate in our minds when it's enhanced. And then it goes in and it feeds into, to the point to where the saliva glands will start to get watery for some people. I've even heard of cases of people lusting so bad after somebody to where they literally, like, no different than a woman wanting chocolate, or you desiring to eat some type of fruit or strawberry, and to the point to where they mentally, and after seeing it, they done gotten so gone up in the face until they saliva, till their mouth started to get wet. Because of that desire and that lust for what you wanted was just so strong. What changes that? Cutting off the images changes that. This is the reason why they call this system the one-eyed devil. This is the reason why it's called the web. It draws you in. It draws the mind in. And if you don't program your mind that once you put this thing on, that you're going to type into something that's good, that's going to feed your mind something healthy, that's going to allow your eyes to see something that is good, then Satan shall have his way with you. He will take that mind that you have and he will make it a very, very terrible thing to waste. More importantly, to put waste in. So I like to motivate and inspire you all that's tuning in to not take on the mindset that when you get up that you're going to allow anything that you know that looks good to you, but that's not good for you, to take control over your taste buds and make you feel like you don't have no mental say-so over yes or no, because this is the same thing that happened. This is the same example that happened with the so-called serpent in the Garden of Eve, that they like to put on most of us that have been raised this way and been taught this way, that just because Eve and Adam could not deny themselves of this tree of life, of good and evil and wisdom, because they wanted to be like God, instead of just learn from God, learn from the Creator. As they say, trust the process. You don't let nobody talk into your ear and tell you and make you think that it's okay to be jealous of your mate. We're not supposed to let nobody talk nothing to your ear to make you think that you got to be just like your sister, your brother. No, you're only supposed to work together with them. You ain't got to be just like nobody but yourself. Know thyself. Work on you, yourself. We can use some of the same methods, but your eyes will never be exactly like my eyes. Your nose will never be my nose. Why you think about the ones that have done this? Now they're trying to take and make these images. That's the reason why they had to do it with optical illusion, do the computers to try to critique faces to look alike. But you go into a plastic surgery and you try to get a look at what happened. Michael Jackson was one of the most copycat images as far as famous so-called quote unquote black people in the world, that so many men and even some women tried to go in and get surgery to look like. Look at what happened to them. Yeah. All that money, all that fame. You've been struck by a smooth criminal. He got struck, y'all. What happened? Something in his mind got him to a place to where something told him that his black image was not enough. After being burnt by Pep, you see, in the head, the image that he had of himself. You think that them surgeons didn't know exactly what they were doing when they went to operate on him, when this guy got burnt by Pepsi Cola? Go look it up, y'all. What happened to the mind? When he started to intertwine and intermix with that was not of his full culture, what happened, y'all? Something messed with his mind. Now you don't know whether you're black or white, Caucasian or African. To the point to where all of that so-called giftedness and this talent just ends with at the age of 50. This is it. This is it. I promise y'all, when I saw that part right there, when I saw the name of that concert, of that final concert, that's the first thing that stood out to me. Yeah, this is it. The power in that. It was going to be the biggest tour that he did. I said, man, this is it. I'd already seen his funeral years beforehand. I shared it with my ex-husband. And he said, I remember when you said that. I said, go figure. Funeral laid out the same way, everything. I said, this is it. I even shared with them certain things that I could tell that was going to be going on at that time. And I'm only sharing that with a few of you all because I want you to understand how the power of the mind works when you're thinking healthy-minded, when the heart is right. Think about it. When the heart and the mind is on the right track, in a healthy way, in a spiritual way, you won't see yourself making a bunch of horrible decisions when you don't have the wrong serpents whispering in your ear. And now it's got to a place now where things are changing to the point now to where the mind this system has played such a mind game on our people to where it's stopping us from feeling motivated because of the fact that what looks right is wrong. What's wrong is right. It's been twisted up. They're calling it something now. I forget what they're calling it now. Where people that used to have good relationships with, you no longer have them with them now. It's switcheroo. People that you didn't get along with, now you're getting along with them. I forget what they call it. I've had a few people call in to me and talking about, Dr. Shep, do you know about this, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, y'all, at the end of the day, once they put it out there and we start to talk about it and that energy and the vibration go out there and power in the tongue goes out there, then automatically it starts to transform the mind. And so even if it wasn't, it is now, because you all are coming collectively together and joining in with the power of the thoughts to shape this thing into pure existence. So as long as your mind is thinking about it, that's exactly what it's going to produce. As long as we're talking about it, that's exactly what it's going to produce. And this is the reason why when we say, well, how is it that evil people, wicked people make it in this world? Hey, Lord B, how is it that wicked people in this world get wealthy, get rich? Because in their minds, they were able to collectively get together with other business-like minds that no matter what their wicked agenda was, they made it happen. They had a team, y'all. They had a team. They had a village. It's no different than the different tribes and how they all fought against each other to take over land. Even our people did it in the beginning. We did it. All of the Hittites, the Ananites, the Moabites. And I'm going to tell you one thing. That's how I know my tribe. I know my tribe. You want to know how I know, and you want to know how you know your tribe. That's there to motivate you to be the best you can be. That's really there, that's meant to be there for you, and you'll know. Because they're going to try to block anything good and great that you're trying to do. They're going to spread as many horrible rumors as they can about you. They're going to lie. They're not going to take real full accountability for nothing that they do. It's all going to be blamed on somebody else. They'll slightly admit they're wrong, but they will not elaborate on it like they elaborate on everybody else's wrongdoing. They can get detailed about what everybody else did, but they'll never get detailed about what they did. Meaning they'll always be playing the victim. But be the first one to tell you, don't you be the victim now. Get those people out of your life, you all. Pray that they be removed in the proper manner, in the best way. Because you can't grow like that. You can't stay motivated like that. It said that that's another tribe that's there to take over your land. That's another tribe. They may look like you, but their spirit is not like yours. So I motivate you out. You already know it just through the simple things. I say it all the time, just through the simple. Girl, if I just go and get me some other type of coin, ain't no way I'll be paying it. How you know where the money go? I don't. All that negative stuff. And I'm not had anyone to say that to me. All praise be to God. But I'm looking at the fact that we are living in a time where because of everybody else is doing it, that even that creates confusion within itself. But what we are not supposed to be confused by when you are healthy minded, you're not supposed to be confused about the spirit that you feel. I can't tell you how many calls, emails, texts I've gotten about those that from certain people that were wishing me well because they know my spirit versus spirits that I was intertwined with. And how many prayers that I felt going out for me. And it's okay, y'all. Some things we do have to go through, even when you're good natured, even when your heart is in the right place, in the most righteous place. That's why the powers of the minds of us doing prayer works. That's a vibration. That's an energy that's been sent. That's a message going throughout the sound waves to say, protect my brother Rashad, protect my sister Tiara, protect my sister Kiniko, protect. It works. You all know it because I got no phone calls back to confirm. People didn't even know I was praying for. It works. I don't care what. That's not something that. Well, go ahead and don't be a believer. Don't be a believer. Don't worry. Eventually, at some point, it'll come to pass where you're gonna be forced to have to. What does a man profit to gain the whole world, but then to lose his soul? What does a man profit to gain all the money and the attention and the fame? We can say woman too. Just to lose their life. I don't want my life to just be summed up in a book. I said just be. I want to help save other lives, just as I have been, as God has given me ability to up until this point. And nothing and nobody is supposed to stand in the way of that. And nobody and nothing can. See how I said that? That's the same way you all have to feel about your health and wellness and your mental health and wellness. That's the same thing that you have to put out there no matter what it takes. And it is a challenging thing when you've been raised to be people pleaser. When you've been raised to love everybody. Treat everybody right. That's good. But that doesn't mean that we're not supposed to be aware of when the wolves in sheep clothing are coming to turn you to shreds spiritually and mentally. Why is that such a popular saying, wolves in sheep clothing? What do you mean wolves? I mean, they're disguising themselves. Why is it that the angels got to come, that the angels of darkness have to come as an angel of light? Because if they came as a darkness and if they came as the wolf that they were, you would not receive it. You would come and say, oh, let me back. Oh, wait a minute. Here come a wolf. You got to go. Let me find a stick. I mean, people have allowed rapists just come on. You know what? The rapist just told the kids, you know what? He a rapist. Y'all go ahead and go over and play with him. He good. That's just how that sounds to me. No, the rapist ain't gonna come looking like a rapist. He's not gonna come out there just holding himself out there. Yeah, I'm coming up here to rape everybody. He gotta disguise himself as a teacher. He gotta disguise himself as a preacher. He gotta disguise himself. How else could he get you? Y'all stop beating yourself up for not knowing and just learn. Focus on learning because what's done is done. Who molested you is done. Who raped you is done. Ain't no need to make a Me Too movement out of that. What you moving to? Are you moving into your healing? You got big, you got upset, you got overweight. It happened. What you gonna do? You gonna stay like that? Or are you gonna move enough to be able to work off some of that? Or are you gonna learn? Or are you gonna pick up a book? You're gonna get on the live stream. You're gonna do something to change what has been put on you. That's the reason why you all don't hear me use the term weight as much. I don't like the term weights, even with lifting weights. That's an unnatural thing. It's natural for us to want to be strong, but it's unnatural that you have to force yourself to lift something. Back in the day, the reason why the Russians, the reason why the Irish, the reason why certain African cultures of people are stronger than us is because they use their strength to do everyday hard work, lifting logs, books, pushing cars, pulling motors, picking up carrying the food on top of their head. They was learning how to leverage. They're toning their bodies naturally. They walked, they swam. They played things that came natural to the mind to do. They lift and carry up. We can use marriage as money. The first thing they do is they pick up the bride. But don't that mean you need some strength? Whether she 100 pounds or whether she 300 pounds, you got to have some strength to pick up a 300 pounds. But if that's what your practice is, then that means naturally we're supposed to be strong people. If you're not created to be that, then what do you need strength for? If you're not going to use it, you're going to lose it. No, I'm just meant to sit here and just talk and just write books. Well, what you getting muscles for then? Oh, no, I just want to be fit and in shape. I'm just going to sit here and I'm like, well, shouldn't you be teaching everybody else how to that's getting sick from not being fit and in healthy and in shape? You think that was just for you? No, you're supposed to recycle that knowledge. Nothing is just for you. Everything God created, notice he created it in multiples. There is no one. My God, if it was just one flower, then none of us would get any flowers. None of us could be able to enjoy the pollen, the trees, and enjoy the oxygen, and be able to, this earth would just die. If you could walk outside and everybody just walk out on one piece of grass, you could never, man, your feet would be rough. You go outside and you go to the beach and it's only one puddle of water and everybody talking about some, let's get in here and swim. It's much. Always. This is the reason why the women are important. This is the reason why I do believe. I don't believe that there's no miraculous thing about us being so much better than the man. I think it's just because what he had in mind when he created us was to multiply. And it didn't just mean children. It's everything we touch. I don't have just one chair. I bought 3 chairs. I got several chairs. Everything we do, we multiply. If I heal one, I got to heal many. That's the reason why the women were some of the first healers. But then they shut that down when they decided, wait a minute, the very thing that's giving birth to the nation is the very person that's healing the nation. So let us kill them and call them all witches. And then we can stop. We'll most definitely be able to depopulate that way if we can get rid of all of the healers. And what has happened, y'all? What's happened? What have we seen this happen even in our time? And you ain't got to even be labeled a witch. Whoever would have thought that just because you could teach somebody about eating fruits and vegetables and teaching them how to think right and be good and be spiritual and be that all of a sudden now you become the America's most wanted. Whoever would have thought that we would get to a place to where just because you're trying to inspire somebody to be well and do well and be healthy, that you become the most wanted. That's the reason why I said we as healers, we as naturopaths, have to be very, very, very careful. You need not to ruffle no real feathers. The feathers are already ruffled. You don't need to. At that point, you become a warrior for no cause. Because and I say that for all of us. What do you fight against? Nature happens naturally. It happens naturally. The only reason why people are confused, the only reason why we're struggling in this way is because they have given us they are calling that's natural unnatural. And we're sounding the alarm and saying, no, it's natural to want to drink water. It's natural to want to eat fruit. It's natural. It's not some form. We're changing the language of what are we going? I give you a bowl of fruit, and you always got somebody come behind and say, so where's the real food at? I'll just say, you mean where is the junk so-called food at? I always tell them, I said, you mean where's the killer food at? We can't get to a place, y'all, where we become our greatest enemy in the mind. We cannot be motivated to be all that we can be, then sit back and find your future in the army of Satan, in the army of the very people that's trying to depopulate you. Y'all be careful. We have to be careful How we take and we use all of these different languages that was never ours in the beginning. Be careful with everything that you're doing. I'm like, everybody's on this thing called woke. Now we know the definition of it. But come on. Y'all think about it. If somebody say, if you found out that somebody attacking the word, well, why in the world would I have to be all the little words in the English dictionary in the vocabulary of history? You want that word, you can have it. Think about it, guys. Hey, this is Sharon. If you want that word, you can have it. I got plenty more to go. We create our own language, y'all. Did y'all forget? So there's a movement against it. And I'm not talking about the business entity of it. But by now, we all understand what it means. Find another word. It's just that simple. Some battles don't need to be fought. It takes wisdom to know that. They gotta have fun sitting up here trying to go through 1,000 different words that we can come up with. And yes, of course I can say that because my brain is wired like that. That's what you want to fight against? Have it. I'll choose another word. Are you awake? Are you up? Are you good? Are you aware? The conscious community, the conscious community. Yeah, we get caught up. We give ourselves away because our minds are sick. I said it. No. You got to go be part of the conscious community. Okay, well, now the FBI coming out of the conscious community. Y'all's in there. Y'all in the Wu-Tang Clan. Come on now. Change the name of your community. It's called Moving Smart, not Dumb. Change your name. Did not Yeshua, was not he known for many different names? In every city they said he went in, he was not received, even as a healer. Because some of the language that he spoke, some of them took it literally, drink of my blood. They actually think that means that he's saying drink of my blood. Eat of my flesh. They actually think that means he's practicing cannibalism. Come on now. Understand where you are in today, where we're on social media, where everything can be taken out of context. Anybody can take a move and say, oh, did she say not say me too? No, I'm just saying me, us too. We can do this all day long. Did she say that strawberries wasn't fruit, but it was a vegetable? Oh, no, I'm just saying it's food now. We can do this all day long. Oh, well, then we can't call it food no more. I call it nourishing. We can't call it nourishing when I just call it something good for me. Come on now. This is what we call mental challenge. This is where the real mental challenge comes from. This is where mental health issues come from. Us not wanting to change our minds. You are entitled to do that. If you're saying you are sick and tired, we're sick and tired of mind control and you're sick and tired of mind games, then as the old saying goes now, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. No, I say don't hate the game, learn it. I changed it. Don't hate the player, learn the game. If the mind game is wordplay, then somebody needs to be picking up a word puzzle. Some of y'all need to get back to Scrabbling again. Yeah, I said it. Increase your vocabulary then. Stop trying to fight for something that's not yours. God gave us multiples for a reason. He gave us more than one way for a reason. He knew that the time would come that we will be debating and be confused and combobulated in our minds about which way to go. But it's clear that he said that my way is easy and my burdens are light. And when you start to believe that and you think that and you receive that in your mind, then all of a sudden you'll start finding easier ways to program your own self to do that is good and healthy for you. We give in to these things because the truth is that we're truly, most of us aren't leaders, most of us are followers. And I don't mean just on social media. We ask as a people, or those who are claiming to be Hebrew, you ask for a king. Most of them wanted to stay with Pharaoh. They got used to the bad treatment. They got used to it. Hearing the voice, hearing the thunder, watching nature wasn't enough for them. Hearing the voice of God wasn't enough for them. They wanted something that looked like them. They wanted that, and because of that same lust and that desire, and us not believing in the word that would always stand, what's the first thing that we do when we get tired of hearing each other? They say, well, I'll just write it down. Just send me a letter. Just email me. Just text me. When we don't want to hear a voice, we say, just do this, just do that, just do it. We're doing the same thing that our ancestors did, y'all. Expecting different results. Don't we call that insanity? We have to be very careful. This is how you know when your mind and your heart is thinking in a healthy way. This is how you know when you're well. And it's also when you know when you're done. This is it. So no, I don't get frustrated and caught up in just because a change took place in my life. I don't get caught up and frustrated. Yeah, feelings can get hurt, but feelings is just a moment. That is a temporary feeling. I felt hot today. In a minute, you'll be cool. Just wait. The sun will go down. It ain't going to shine on you all day. It will shift. Well, I'm tired. At some point, you'll feel some energy. Just go and drink some water. Go eat some fruits. Go do something to nourish the body. You will not feel tired all day long. If you are, that means that your body is starting to shut down, and eventually you shall wither away. Certain laws of nature, you all, is what I'm going to say. It's not going to change for us. They were already set in motion before we got here, clearly. We can't change it. So you're battling it, and I say it all the time. Your arms are too short, not just a box of God, but your arms are too short to fight with nature. We see that all over. Here in Springfield, Missouri, I'm sure people had a lot of plans and they were doing a whole lot of things, but it didn't stop that tornado from coming through and wiping them out. Here in Missouri, we got hundreds of people still without lights because the storm came through. I had people that business associates that I was going to meet and I was going to do it, but they know me also to be the weather girl, the human almanac. So no, I'm not just into health and wellness. I'm into nature. And they sit there and they say, oh my goodness. So they know when I say now, my closest people to know that when I say, And some people get offended through that. It's a saying I'll never put children. Yeah. I smell it. I look into the skies. This is an ability all of us have, you all. This is what they're after to destroy. You being able to be awake enough to know when something is changing and shifting in the atmosphere that's going against the nature of God in you. I said, we finna get something that's coming through. No. I hurried up. I turned that car back around. I turned around. Just like that. Pulled up that driveway, parked that car, looked at the window, and saw that joker come sweep straight through the whole outer skirt of where I live. It just tore through trees. And they was like, somebody said, so you were scared, Dr. Shelby, you were scared? I said, no, I wasn't scared. I'm aware. I understand that I'm not supposed to play with nature. If I'm not in that mode to where I'm finna shift it with my energy, and we do have the ability to do that too. Yes, I said to you all, we have the ability to shift the energy. But at this point, I knew that the minds of my people were thinking about getting business done. So I had time to sit there and say, wait a minute, y'all, let's bid this storm to pass. No, we needed it. We had a lot of dry heat. Our plants and everything, the grass was starting to get too dry. So whether man was controlling it or not, the grass, the trees are happy. Somebody's garden is happy. Somebody got their crop today. It's been nourished. It's been watered. Unfortunately, because they have made artificial trees and placed it in places that nature didn't allow for it to grow in, what happened? What you think that happened? That storm took all those trees out. Just took them out. Just wiped them out. Broke them all down. Will that tree grow back? Absolutely. Because it was a good seed. And that's exactly how we are. You're not supposed to allow nobody to change the nature of whose you are and what you are. Not, I didn't say what somebody programmed you to be. If we all understand that we are the chosen people, then why in the world are you acting like you're supposed to be like somebody else? Why is that not good? What, money changed you and made you think that you're supposed to be another culture of people? Just because they got better cars, just because they got a little bit more money? Well, if it's so much more better, then why are you trying to be like us? It's so much better, then why you need my body parts? You're so much better, why are you trying to lay up with all our women? So much better, why come you need to imprison and enslave all our men? Last I checked, anything that's not so much better, you don't want. For nothing. You get some spoiled meat in your hand, you're going to hurry up and throw that in the trash. How is it that even in death, they want your body? How you explain that? Even in parts of Haiti, if you're handicapped and if they feel that you are cursed or whatever, they take and they just throw you in the fire. The most heinous thing that I've heard. They don't matter. You deformed, whatever, handicapped, they don't even take in. There's part of Haiti where they would throw them in a ditch and they would light them on fire. Now, that is a different kind of wicked, to where you think that you should be God enough to determine whether or not somebody should live or die just because they're handicapped. You can't get full services out of them that you want, instead of you being a servant to them. But I'm saying that to say, y'all, just think about it. This is how valuable you are. To where somebody wants to think about it. Even when now a lot of our people don't feel to want to keep pets and stuff. And I love animals. I do. They're a creation of God. I understand that we're supposed to have dominion and understand and understand what all their different purposes were. But I don't have any. They belong to nature. Yes, I don't care how cute they are. They belong to nature. This is like somebody taking you out of there and just putting you in, just locking you up in prison, saying, "Oh, you know what? Because you're cute, because you're handsome, I just want to just lock you up here." We call that kidnap. So God bless the animals that's been kidnapped, because they made a law that we could do that. They got family, y'all. But because we have learned how not to get along with each other enough, now we kidnapping them away from their families. So I was like, well, what about the ones that's been hurt and wounded? We just want to take care of them. That's fine. But they need their people. I tell my daughter that she got a big old chunky little rabbit. I feel so sorry for her. She's always been into nature too. My middle daughter, the one that's just started college. She wanted to catch birds. She wanted to catch turtles. She wanted to catch everything. That girl even picked up a little bitty garden snake. That's how into nature she. And niece. She be out there at 3 years old. I started to question whether or not she was a black child or not. She out there in nature catching a bird. Mom, I gotta catch a bird. I gotta catch a bird. And I'm like, okay, this is not normal. I started to get a little concerned. Now I know in the womb something told me that she would be highly intelligent, but she out here trying to catch birds. It made me question at the age of 3 of just how intelligent she was. I don't question it anymore. I just understood that she just loved nature. So she had a rabbit, and the rabbit is afraid to come out the cage now. Big old chunky little rabbit. And I said, girl, you gotta let that rabbit go, be part of nature. It's in their nature to mate and to have that. And she said, yeah, I know. She seemed to be sad. She come around the house sometimes. I said, poor baby. She said, I'm gonna give him back. I said, yeah, do that. Do that. Give him back. Because she worked. school. She got that much time on her hand for no way. So she gets it. It's alone. Some things, you all, we have to learn how to stop. What I'm saying is that we have to learn how to stop going against nature. Once we stop going against nature, then nature will stop going against you. How is it that I'm aware of the storms? The way that I am when I focus on them is because I respect nature. I understand that they got to come and do what they got to do. I also understand that this is the reason why we have engineers that have caught on to how much they want to try and control it. I just saw a clip where brother in Chicago, I said, oh, well, I don't know if he kept his job or not, but he's an engineer and he's showing how they manipulate the clouds. He was on top of the building, literally videotaping it and saying, y'all thought that it's just quote unquote God. I was like, no, it's little gods. That's also controlling. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The fact that they learned how to do it, you still need to be aware of it. That's just like saying that if somebody come out and come in your neighborhood for a shootout and you see the gun before they start shooting, you're going to stand there and be like, oh, look, it's a gun. Or that's the time when you started acting like I'm Superman and Superwoman. I'm bulletproof. No. You move just like that. What do we all do? You scatter. So if somebody coming through, so if a storm is coming through, you look and you say, that's the word, warning before destruction is what the scriptures speak about. There's always warnings before destruction. You get out the way. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. They selling toxic food. Move. Go the other way. You learned that McDevil's is getting fake burgers now that's made out of substance that they don't even know what it is. Go to another place. Common sense. Move. Go make another decision. We do it all the time. You don't like the way somebody talking. You don't like when you shut your ear down next. And you're like, I don't want to hear what they got to say. I'm going to go in my room. You at your job, you don't like somebody's attitude, you go, I'm finna go in my cubicle. You a teacher, you don't like the way the conference going, you know what, I got another class that I got to do. We move all the time when we want to, when we feel uncomfortable. This is the same thing that we have to apply to what we choose to eat and place in our bodies. The same thing. The only difference is that it's a different situation. But the same process applies. They make this seem like it's complicated by naming things, different things, just like the ailments in our bodies. They're deliberately doing that, you all, because they know that the more and more they can confuse your mind into thinking that inflammation, no matter how many different labels and titles that they give to it, is not just inflammation. Heart disease, they can name it 100 different things. At the end of the day, your heart is unhealthy. It's not pumping properly. Kidney disease, they got 20 different labels and titles so that they can offer you 100 different type of drugs. It's still failure in the kidneys. It still needs to be flushed. Oh, I got liver disease. The liver is designed naturally to grow back, y'all. So you got liver disease. They see a spot on your liver doesn't mean you're going to die. It's mind games, you all. Know thyself. Know you're created enough to understand that in the beginning of any of whatever you think the beginning is, we were playing little gods and we're doing it to this day. And be careful not to try to get the glory of God and make it seem like you are the only one just because you're chosen for something. We have to think collectively in this thing because it's not many of us. Many are called, but few are chosen. It's the reason why I don't believe in people talking about some call. A lot of people call, but we can decide what we want to answer and what we're not going to answer to. Just because somebody offer you something don't mean that you got to accept it. Well, I don't want them to think that I'm trying to be funny with them. I'm not, but then take it and put it to the side. When you gonna eat it now, oh no, I don't feel like my taste bud is not there, but I believe you. If you say it tastes good, then it tastes good. Doesn't mean that it's healthy for you. We got to learn how to apply this stuff, you all. All I'm saying is that we have to learn how to apply this to our everyday life. You do have to guard your temple just like you would guard your house. If you got video cameras up, you're guarding, you're trying to get a heads up on whether or not somebody or a stranger is coming to try to break in. That's the way you're supposed to be thinking about your body. This is the same way we're supposed to be thinking about our minds. Who's trying to break in and give me bad information, give me toxic information? Who's trying to break in to confuse me? Did you ever die from eating a salad before you started eating your fruits? How many people, how many writings down there? Of course they're going to get to that place, you all, because they got to taint everything that God created for us that was good. But how many of y'all got the stats on how many people died from eating fruits and vegetables and just straight died? And I'm not talking about anybody that's choked, but they just died just on the spot because or didn't live long because, no, that's not how it worked, you all. That's the reason why I'm saying don't be confused. There is no one set regimen. And when we get to a place, and that place is going to be here soon, where even there, but we're not there yet because people are still being healed through eating fruits. People are still being healed now. But when we get to that place, then one have to ask the question, then what shall we eat? What shall we drink? And I say, what you grow. What you grow. So whether you like it or not, you have to go back with nature. It's not a slave thing, you all, to grow your own food. We just have to reprogram your own mind and stop telling yourself that I'm only I'm here to do one thing. That's not what I'm going to do. Stop telling yourself that, because what you're saying is that I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to die. That's what you're saying when you say what you're not going to do. It's a lazy mentality that a lot of our people have because, once again, we've been brainwashed to think that something is supposed to be beneath us. That's the reason why most people want to serve it. That's the reason why this term king and queen, and yes, I use it, but I don't use it in a term to where I think that means that I'm so much above everybody else. And there's a peasant, there's a conversation, there's talk that's going on with that. Oh, I cut people loose quick. I don't care how emotionally tired I am if you thinking that I'm the peasant and you the king. You the queen and I'm your peasant, and we all supposed to be in this thing together. Come on now. Come on now. I don't care how many degrees you got. You clearly ain't got too many degrees to understand human nature, to understand that we all were created by the same source. Just used it, but then in different. Try not seeing that trash man come through and all that trash that you got coming out, and see how much of that toxin and that pollution stank up your whole house and have rodents coming all over. That's a neighborhood that you don't want to be in, isn't it? Ain't it? And then let's see how much you be so happy to see that trash man when he come through, smelling and all. When that trash man finally come through to clear out your trash, let's see how little he is then. Let's see how much of a peasant he is then. Yeah, see, I have to talk on these things. We sitting up here talking about down each other's for the little jobs that we have. Oh, well, the cashiers ain't nothing. Until they came out with self-check last I checked. Unless you're going to a farm picking your food, then you don't get rung up, you don't get nothing. You can't purchase nothing, you can't get nothing. When the doorman is just a doorman, he ain't nobody. If that door too heavy and it's locked, let me see you get in. Out the rain. Let's see how important that doorman coming to unlock that door is when you need to get up into a certain place. Y'all be careful. We got to be careful. Well, they ain't got no money. They ain't got nothing, but yet they able to help build some things for you. Now, you want to treat them less than. See, we see these type of clips all the time, and that's the reason why those get a lot of likes, because we get this uppity spirit, y'all, just because we learn who we are. And that is something that is taking place. Oh, it's a bad spirit to have in this so-called Hebrew conscious movement. And you wonder why we can't get through certain things. You wonder why we're experiencing some of the same things. You got to be careful. You got to be very careful how you treat people. Your wife is not your servant. Your husband is not just a protector. Your children is not just a child. These are important roles and positions. It's to be cherished. And anytime you try to demean and reduce a person down to something just to make yourself feel like you the king or queen of something, it just shows how toxic and how sick in the mind you really are. And you need help. You need some mental help. The only big eyes and little U's it is the big eyes that we make each other with our big eye selves. Yes, I said it. But rest assured, and my cousin made me just remind that the very people that put you on the pedestal are going to be the very ones who's going to tear you down. The moment they find out that you ain't no better than them. The moment they find out that your testimony is not a test that's set to really truly help them to overcome. That you just like being heard. You just like feeling like you and looking like and acting like you're better than somebody else. We have to be careful with that, y'all. How can two walk together except they agree? How can a community work together except they agree? How can a family get along except they agree? How can we fulfill each other's visions if we don't work together? It's just that simple. Yeah, so this motivation money was about us, look, thinking right, eating right, making sure that the heart and the mind is in a more righteous place to where it's not spewing a lot of negativity and ungodly things, putting the right things in the body. 618-388-8100 to order. You can text it in, send in your name. You all start sending in your name because a lot of people are, and then the voicemail, sometimes I can hear, but if you have a low talking voice like I do, when I'm online, people tell me all the time, I can't really hear what you're saying. Then that means to text it in. Please text it in with your name and number, address. The form of payment I'm using now that's best for me for right now is Cash App still. And then MoneyGram. The other ones are all being compromised, you all. Too many of them being compromised. They're asking for way too much information. I can take payments over the phone through card. Yes, I can. But I know everybody's not comfortable with that, and that's okay. And so I'm just explaining to y'all that this system is about to shut down. And so if you don't make up the right friends, if you don't connect with the right people, then trust me, you need them to be a phone call away. We need one another. I need you. You need me. We need one another. And so this is something that I want to motivate us to really take out the time to think about when we're talking about just being healthy, when we're talking about just being motivated to do the right thing. We have to be very careful for the 4th of July coming up. You all be careful with the fireworks. It's very toxic. Too many children get injured during that time. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Stay away from the red meats. This is one of the most one another outside of Thanksgiving and outside of Xmas and all these other ones. New Year's is another time that we would consume the most, be tempted to consume the most meat by products. Be careful. Be careful with the barbecue. You can barbecue some vegetables. You can get the organic barbecue for now. If you got a substitute, you don't feel like being out there in the hot heat, then just get the organic kind for now. That still would be better than you all going to grandma and auntie them house just get to get into all the stuff. Somebody say, I want the potato salad. Chop you up some grapes and put them grapes inside of it then. I'm going to take, look, I'm giving y'all some shortcuts. Said, did you say some grapes? Yep, I said some grapes. Chop up some little apples, bring your little container of your little apples and some grapes and put it inside there. Watch, it's going to taste so good. Ooh, that grapes will taste and purify and open up, boy, like never before. It'll cut all through that mayo. The apples and the pectin will help it switch on through. Get all that starch to push on through that system. The tricks, y'all. I don't want no meat. I don't do no meat. Good for you. Get your jackfruit for those of you all in one. Get your walnuts for those of you all want to boil walnuts. Get your little meaty taste on. In some of y'all cases, if y'all just got this addiction to this meat, then it probably will be best for some of y'all to go to your little substitute meat just for that day. Anything or veggie burger would be the best route. Get your veggie burger. It's popular now. A bean burger, black bean burger. You can't take beans and just do the regular veggie burgers. Get you some zucchini. They're juicy, they're meaty. Squash, slice it. Only take a few seconds to take and grill them jokers. Put some little barbecue on there, put it on the sandwich. You'll be surprised when you put a little lettuce, tomatoes, and all that, and get you some of that low grain bread. You toast that, so you'll be surprised how juicy and how tasty that joker will be. Never, I call it that joker. You just after that taste of that barbecue anyway. You after the taste of that potato salad anyway. Get you some vegan one on the side for now. Get you some, boil you some potatoes, chop it up, put your little biggie dressing up, put your little garlic and herb in there, and whisk it up the way and just stir it up in a little bowl. And you got your own. If you eat before you go out, if you take in your fruits, and those of y'all that just can't stay away from your from your food, if you eat before you go out or before you go to that family member, then you don't have to worry about being as tempted. Eat beforehand. If you juice your juice in advance and you drink a chocolate that joker down beforehand, the body won't be able to receive too much more. It'll be working on your behalf. It will be saying, even though I smell that, don't do that. It'll start talking back. It'll resist. I don't care about you. If that's your favorite auntie and favorite auntie will love you, then favorite auntie is going to understand. Well, you always eat the macaroni and cheese. I say, I know, yep, and I know how good it tastes. Auntie, I do. But this time, my stomach is saying, no. Oh, really? Well, no, she ain't gonna stop being your favorite auntie. She just wants you to think that you are. That she's gonna stop being your favorite auntie. She know what you're doing. Everybody understand now. And so this is just something that I just want to start focusing on. Just get you a good motivation movie. Get a good read. Get a good book. Start doing some other things, y'all. We're going to have to in a minute anyway. Might as well start now. Start now. Start now. You can do it. Well, I fell off Dr. Chef last week, and that's why I want the moringa, and that's why I want the colon cleanse, because I go, okay, fine. Put your order in. Put your order in. Well, I don't want to start with my just so you understand my colon cleanse, because someone did ask me that. You get 2 bags of these. I added an extra scoop or 2, because a lot of times people waste their first one. I know how it is because I haven't done it. Oops, and it's gone. 12-day supply. 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon in an 8 or 12 ounce glass of water, pure water, or you can do pure juice. Don't let it sit. It will gel up, and it will start to absorb and cleanse it from parasites. It'll absorb all them toxins, all the drugs and chemicals that you got up in the system, all the toxicity, and it will help produce a smooth bowel movement. Even if you're in your BMI, it doesn't matter. If you know you have not been eating properly, colon cleanse is what's great for you. You're concerned about something that's good for you. You can put it into soups. You can add you can add a tablespoon into some organic oats. Yes, you can. You can put it in a smoothie, but you want to drink it right down so gel up. You want to gel up. And then there are some that already are using it. So when they want to feel full, instead, especially when they're going to family outings and functions, look, y'all, it helps you to save money too. Because if you're already feeling full because you didn't take it in your colon cleanse and you don't feel like eating much, you just want something to drink, which you will have to drink more. Anyway, then you done saved you some money when it's time to go out here. You just want something to drink. Now, that's going to sweep through, and it's going, and you, oh my God, the skin clears up. Hearing gets better. Vision, because it's cleaning out the toxins in the body. It's absorbing. It's absorbing and it's sweeping it through. And there goes the tornado sounds off again. And so y'all understand. Can you take it daily? Yes, that's what you want to do. You want to take it 1 teaspoon a day. For those who all have goals, keep in mind you do get a 15-minute free consultation in there. It's certain. I don't put certain regimens. One thing you all gonna notice about me, I don't put certain regimens within certain things. I know they got us programmed to believe they can. It's because I understand that as the body is healing itself, it's going to ask for different things. It's going to require certain things depending on what your type of eating style is. And whatever you, okay, it's just a test, you all. I'm making that sound. I'm not far from the popo station, y'all. So I'm hearing them. Okay, it was a test. Anywho, therefore, you all can take that daily. Yes, you can. If you desire to lose weight, and this is what I don't want. I don't want for people that's calling in for the that's weighing 110, 105 pounds to 5 feet and under, and you're concerned about your weight. No, if you're toxic and you're wrestling with any type of disease, discomfort, blood clots, any fibroids and anything of that nature, stop being afraid of taking something to cleanse the gut and the system out. You want that to attack the parasites that's in your system that's causing it. We have plenty of women that had fibroids have taken this very brand that I have, that I've been watching. I monitored this for almost 15 years now. Perfect results from it. I did take it myself, and no, I did not. At the time, they were recommended 3 times a day. And I was just being realistic about it. I said, I'm not going to take nothing. I'm not going to take nothing that's going to deal up for no 3 times a day. I can't even consume all that. I said, I'm not going to do that, but I can promise you when I did, and I did it the one time out the day, 1 tablespoon a day for what I did it for just 3 days. I mean, it cleared my system out so good. And I was still, at that time, I was yo-yoing on some junk food, y'all. I'm just going to keep it 1,000 with you. I did. I let a dear significant one to me talk me into some stuff just to appease them. And I started to get in some belly gut, and I started to just feel sicky. And I wound up having, I had a pool, and I was toxic water and chlorine, and got into my whole system. And when I took this very purified form of colon cleanse and purifier, it drew out all that out of me, all of it. The glands had swollen up and stuff. It purified out. I mean, it was beautiful. By the time my nails had grew out more, stronger, and everything. And so that's why, I've deliberately waited patiently. The Bible says, "In your patient possess you your soul." Well, I'm telling you now, it's here now. In my soul, that here go patience. I wanted the best brand. And I was willing, and I was trying to be respectful about the process, because one of my workers that I had, business associates that I had with it, had already gone through a lot to produce it. And I said, no, I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to get this for my people. That was my mentality. I'm going to get this for my people. That's all I had in my mind. I'm going to get this for my people. I'm going to get this. And now it's here. And so, and it's going to be many more things, quite a few more things that's going to come through. All you got to do is, when you all ask me, what more do you have, Dr. Chef? Because everything I'm not going to share on this area. Everything I'm just not simply going to share. I'm not. Just like you don't go in and open up your door of your house and let everybody see what all you got up in your home. It's not wise. We got thieves out here, y'all. Am I afraid? No, I don't have any need to be afraid. I just don't think that it's wise. So I always show your hand. That's just like when certain people playing cards. It's like you're going to tell, oh, look, this is what I got. And so now you're going to show them how to beat you at your game, at your own game. You can't do that. It's not smart. And not that into enticement. and wanting to make so much money off of things to where I'm forgetting what's wise and what's not. And that's when you know that your heart is really caught into, and your mindset is thinking about having the treasures that your people need. Now, that's the approach that God has dealt with me to take concerning how I do and conduct this. And so when you all call in or you leave a message to say, what else do you have more is coming, Dr. Shelf, or do a referral. If you refer people to me, then use the referral. I'll give discounts to those who do referrals for what I have. And then I do look forward to hearing feedback from y'all. I know you all don't have to come on. I will have it set to where some of y'all can come on to share testimonies if you like, but it's not something that I'm going to press, because I do believe in the Privacy Act of some people, because I do know that demonic forces is set to take people out in that way, even as inspiring as it is. I do like people having when you're going through a healing crisis, because there's so many setbacks that can take place during that time. I like for them to be at peace and in privacy with it. If you want to share, then you can share. That's fine. But I cannot allow my people to be in a vulnerable position when they're trying to heal their bodies. And that's just something that I learned just years ago, even working in the medical field. That's why you close the door when you're treating and caring for your people, because you don't want a lot of distractions. You don't want too many questions. You don't want anybody interfering in the process. Now, that's my method, and that's been working for me. Or else I will not be here before you all today with no confidence to be able to help share anything with you all. All right, I am going to shut it. Hey, Brother Robert, I didn't see you sneak up in there. So I'm looking forward. Just so y'all know, I'm looking forward to my Columbia, Tennessee visitation. I'm going to go ahead and close out. I'm looking forward to my keynote speaking engagement there in Columbia, Tennessee. I am going to get someone. I got a sister girl that's coming through. Look forward to seeing you all on Wellness Wednesday. I am going to go aim for 9 o'clock because that time is now better for me. I can get a few things taken care of. I'm going to go out. I am going to personally be delivering. So you guys got calls. I will be calling some of you all back to re-verify that the address is correct before I send off, because I understand certain things come up with postal services. I will be receiving a confirmation number that can be texted back to you. So I will be doing that myself, and I will probably have at least one assistant at this time that can assist in that area as well. But for now, I feel more comfortable with being the one to make sure that these go out on my own. And so I'll be looking forward to you all calling in that received it for your 15-minute consultation on how to apply and best take your colon cleanse. And for your moringa, keep in mind, you can, even though the instruction says that it can be used as a tea, you can use it, sprinkle it in your food like I do. You can still put it in your smoothie, and that's the same. Put a tablespoon of that in as well, or a teaspoon rather of the moringa in. I know I'm glad that so many know what the moringa is. Unfortunately, I do realize a lot don't know how many different benefits that's in the moringa, because a lot of times we just get caught up in just, if we find out that a herb is good, we just try to take it. No, you need to know what you're taking it for. And so that's where I'm at, you all. I love you all. I'm going to pray us out of here. And I appreciate you all for tuning in, taking out your Monday and your time. I pray you all be safe. Please, 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 please be safe as you all go in and come out. And then I will be tuning in on Wednesday. God say the same for our Wellness Wednesday. I will be answering the phones and calls and checking emails as well today as well on it too. And I look forward, you all, we got a surprise come Friday. So stay tuned. I may come before you all at a different hour on Friday, because we're going to have a feast. Yeah, and we're going to show y'all how we do it. And so it will be part for launching the products as well too, but it's going to be the village coming together. And so this is going to be something that I'm going to start annually doing, and inviting you all that want to come in to visit us to be able to participate in so that you all can see what we got going on. And so I really do look forward to us growing this village. It is called the Village Vibe. Yes, it is. And the village vibe is where we all support one another in everything that we do, because we're finding that all of us need the services that all of us provide. Whether it be engineer, whether it be a scientist, whether it be a carpenter, whether it be a painter, whether it be an artist, whether it be someone that does hair, whether it be a therapist, but we are creating an entire village, and that village is going to turn into our wellness village for our people. So if y'all down with that village vibe, then y'all stay tuned and stay supportive. Appreciate your love, your cash app information, the things, and the donations that you all send. They are most definitely helping us, are helping me to be able to make some things happen. And so I appreciate that. I love you all. And I'm going to pray us out. Father, we thank you so much for blessing us to be able to come before you on another Monday. Thank you so much for, even though we had a full weekend again. We thank you for allowing us to be able to get to a place to where we still have a mind to want to be motivated, to be able to think well, be well, and to live a more healthier life. We thank you so much for those who are tuned in. We ask that you bless and protect them as they go in and come out. We ask to also to help those that are that want to start on a new product to be able to have that powerful testimony that they are looking for as a result. Give them the made up mind to follow the regimens that helps them in their particular situation and ailments or healing crises that they're going through. We also thank you for those who send in donations and those who that press in their heart to want to like and share, for those that they think that this message will help. And we ask that you just continue to keep our minds on the right track, on the most righteous track that we possibly can. Help us to learn how to guard our ear gates from anything that's negative, that's not there to uplift our spirit. Help us also to make better decisions and choices as we're on this health and wellness journey as well that affects all of our lives. And we thank you so much for those who just have the mind to want to pray and to be supportive to their own communities and their own families, meaning your chosen ones. And so we thank you and we praise your name. In the name of Jesus and Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. All right, so do I have to put in this information before I tune up? Yeah, how long did I take, y'all? It would never show me that. Let me see. Maybe I didn't see it. Yep, I'm gonna do my little short chat because I'm getting ready to mail out in a little bit, y'all. I'm not gonna wait for the holiday to do this because I can just imagine how many people. John 15 and 15. It's so good to see Sister Sandra. Joyful July. I like that. Joyful July. Hey, I didn't see that at first. Mama Sherry, I didn't see that at first. Love and peace to everyone. Yeah, I like that. Joyful July. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it. Joyful July. This is Joyful July. Joyful, oh, we adore you. God of mercy, now we adore you. I don't know why they came. Fill up with the light. Remember, Sister Aguiar. Like a day, like a day. But they had all us going. Lord, he'll hit us all going. He got us all going real good. I'm just typing in the information, y'all. Y'all know now that I'm sitting down, I can focus on in live when I need to. Let me see. Now talk to me. Y'all talk to me about I'm doing this. I don't cut this thing off here. Y'all know how I do because I know when I get in the grind, I'm gonna get in the grind. So I use my little morning time to do this. This is y'all time. So I can't ask questions because I can't see you better. Okay, 2 hours, 15 minutes. That's a long time. I'm going to try to shorten it down. Everyone be blessed. Be blessed, Sister Keena Coda. I don't know if you're working into the school district, but pray that you have much success in that area and look forward to hearing back from you. Covenant Grace Ministries. Hey there. Hey, How you doing? I'm trying to remember who's into Covenant Grace Ministries. You all told me who it was, but it's okay. I'm not going to overly press the issue. And so I try to respect the process of why people do what they do. It's for, I think it means something to some of our people when we do our labels and titles. And then sometimes it's to, I do understand it's for business purposes as well, too. Okay, I put the Cash App information in there. And then I'm also going to put the number for. Can do that. I think I got everybody. I just got a few more consultations go. I know I'm going to have more. I'm flooding in as you all purchase your colon plans. I look forward to the experience. I want to hear it all, y'all, too. I want to hear how well it's doing with the bowel movement because that's important. How we get rid of our parasites. That matters. That matters. I'm going to put down the price as well for the what you call here in the chat. To those of y'all that hung in there long enough to be able to get to this point, and oh well, y'all finna see. That's why I say, hey, I haven't felt led to say all this too much in the beginning because of I do that on purpose. I do that on purpose as a reason why, and it's a speaking. Yeah, I watch what they're doing now. That's interesting. They won't let me press it. That did it again. You won't let me put in. Oh yes, now yeah, now there you go. Okay, I got it. And then I'm putting everything in the chat, you all, towards the end. This cleanse is a parasite. I'm just speaking now for whoever's up on this. This cleanse is a parasite remover for sure. And so that is what I noticed that most people are going to want it for outside of losing gut waste. Like I said, I will be taking it myself again because I hadn't taken out the time to work out as much as I had at first. And so I just want to tone up some more. I like it a lot better. So I'm gonna have some more toning up to do myself this summer. I'm gonna start off my workout regimen. So yes, so that means that I may be tuning in at some point, probably on one of my bikes or something, to help motivate you all too. Next, some of my motivational Monday times while I'm taking my colon cleanse, because it's just good to cleanse because of the toxicity. I do feel like even with me, I do feel like my skin could be even more clear and pure. I can't get over, like I told you at first, I can't get over the fact that when they go outside and come back in, that the air, the pollution is so toxic to where I use a white terry cloth towel on purpose, just so I could see. And when if you get alcohol or witch hazel and you cleanse your skin, you'll see all that dirt that be on the face. That's literally hours after just going in and coming back out. And then sometimes throughout your house, you have to get them air ducts cleaned out too, you all. I mean, it's normal for us to have dirt. Don't get me wrong. It's normal to have dirt that builds up on the skin because of where bodies is constantly detoxing, especially if you're sweating. So that's another natural form of detoxifying the body. However, it's not supposed to just be sitting there the whole time through without you cleansing your face. It does to wipe it away is very good for you. I would take it and my mother also. All right, all right, all right. Did you send in your information through the text, through the what you call Sister Sandra? Did you send in your address and your number? I just got the information in here at the bottom at the end. I don't know why sometimes the thing won't just let me just scroll down. We have an issue with that. Text something else so it can allow me to send. I wonder if it will allow me to send this last. I'm trying to send it. I don't know why it won't scroll down for me. Okay, why does it do that? Oh, you're very welcome coming to Grace. I'm just saying that says thank you for sharing your knowledge and your beautiful spirit. Thank you so much for seeing. I'm trying to remember who Covenant Grace is. I know you probably done told me before. If you're still on, I pray you have a blessing, that Most High bless your ministry. And that, I am accepting classes. I am doing classes now. Or what would we say, workshops. I will be doing workshops. You already soon. I'll be sending that information as well. I just don't know why it won't let me go down there. Maybe because I've been on for a while. I am going to start a podcast as well. You all know where we just do our nice little talk. I'm going to do that as well. Yeah, it won't let me send. I'm just trying to get to a place where I can send. But it won't let me get in there to send anything. Yeah, I'm trying to get down there. I'm trying to create this space so I can send and it won't let me send. Interesting. Interesting. I think they blocked that on purpose. Yep, they blocked it on purpose, y'all. Not yet, but I will. Okay, that's fine. We should have enough. I'm thinking it'll probably be gone within a week or two. just for the record, and I have to send in another shipment. Of course, as you all purchase, of course, I will order more based off of the purchase. I do have a nice amount of orders coming in, but not yet just enough to repurchase more because I'm getting ready to produce my own sea moss and things of that nature as well because that's very important. I'm getting a lot of questions and asked about that as well. So we'll be coming out with that. I will share that much now that we're at the very end. As you all zoom to the bottom, I doubt it if anyone will. I guess you could try to catch it at the very end. Okay, now I'm gonna try to log out of here, y'all. Not allowing, just wait a moment. I love them hearts, I do. Yeah, I know I'm always hearting stuff on things. I know they get tired of me hearting stuff. Not family, I just be hearting up friends, anything positive, I'm hearting it. Now, the question is, will they let me out of here? Hello? Okay, y'all, I'm going to get out of here now. Y'all enjoy yourself and be careful, be safe. I love you dearly. Bye bye.